Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subject 220822.8. As I can't fit penitent engines on the Arcadia, I'm going to recycle the applicants and use them as sustained cannon fodder on the back of Dainty's legs. It'll certainly slow her down and give me something to do. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to talk about the hashtag Give Amber Her Voice Back. Now I've been a bit baffled of late because there have been a lot of tags that keep trending and they keep on resurfacing concerning Amber Heard being a psycho, deserving prison, and so on. And with Johnny Depp always wins, Johnny Depp won, justice for Johnny Depp, they still do their rounds. So I did some Googling and my Google flu isn't the best. But apparently, trends are determined by an algorithm and by default are tailored for you based on who you follow, along with that algorithm determining what is trending by favouring sharp spikes rather than gradual sustained growth. So it could well be that Give Amber Her Voice Back as a hashtag and trending could entirely be just because somebody was shitposting and others latched onto it, but I couldn't tell you. This is one I'd not seen before, which is why we're doing this, because it amused me enough to make a video on it. Although, we have actually covered the main reason why last week. I'll link the video down below, as it concerned the Women's March, which I found to be a very disingenuous Twitter thread, not least because it latched onto some antiquated concepts of which don't really hold up when anyone uses their own Google foo or scrutiny. Now yes, there are going to be some simps that muddy the waters a little, but when you blindly assume that Amber Heard was telling the truth because, and as a demonstration of that you also use the UK's own court trial that said high probability that this did happen, with nothing to actually confirm it did happen, therefore listen and believe is the idea you are pushing, many will push back against it. There has certainly been enough pushback on the UK courts for their judgment. It is, to me, incorrect. High probability does not mean it did happen, and since you cannot confirm it happened, it is therefore redundant, a moot point, a worthless point. But listen and believe is what the Women's March used in their Twitter thread. Must simply believe Amber Heard for all she says because women will never tell a lie. Which sounds like such a women-hating comment from me, but it is what they are pushing. And this is where the problem is. If you want to be treated, anyone wants to be treated with a level of equality, you must be held to the same standard as everyone else. And I know obligatory, but the patriarchy, but the patriarchy. Shut up. Using thought-terminating cliche to end a conversation negates the whole point of the conversation. You are trying to silence rather than engage, while unironically claim people need to engage in conversation, but really the version of conversation you're referring to is everyone else crowd around one person, the avatar of your movement, to listen to them espouse about the importance of listening and believing when it was given its chance in a courtroom and proven to be demonstrably false. Which is why tags like this and the Twitter thread that caused it are somewhat amusing. For all of us, we all roll our eyes, I'm sure, but let's face it, this bollocks has been going on for quite a while now and it hasn't shown any sign that it's going to slow down. It is not helped when the Women's March by extension have enabled Amber Heard through their own blind support, because they didn't just lump Johnny Depp into the tweet, they lumped him in with other people that have also got to go through their own proceedings, and just assumed guilt on all instances, to then make a grander point which doesn't carry any weight because we all believe in due process, innocence until proven guilty. There was a generational gap I guess. The blip in question is where people genuinely did listen and believe, and then as time went by, the next generation came by and said, no, fuck you, we're doing this properly. It only took 5 years, everyone, but you know what? Accidents have to happen for the next generation to be better than us. Am I right? I guess what makes me chuckle not just about that is when I saw this Give Amber Her Voice Back trending, above it, #anti-white, below, the US Mullets Championships are underway. I didn't know there was a competition for that. I hope you all looked well and truly rad. So perhaps we should look at some tweets and an article that were all under the Give Amber Her Voice Back tag, just so we can see if there's any support for Amber Heard in the tag that isn't the Women's March. Spoilers, there aren't going to be many, but it should be interesting to see what people think, right? No one took her voice. She lost her own voice by lying constantly in every possible way. Danny, this is how rampant and normalized men's abuse and killing of women is. This is how systems protect abusive men, even those that kill women. So in a world like this, I can't take seriously the idea that false accusations are a serious thing. Oh look, we found one, everyone. Because other instances have poisoned the well. That must mean in this instance, we must base the past on this and determine what is fact and fiction on that and not on what we know from this. Does any of that make sense? Danny, you're a twat. Gun bunny slippers. #Give Amber Her Voice Back. Her voice was never taken. She's always been able to speak her mind. And she has done exactly that ad nauseum. She just doesn't seem to understand that there are consequences when you defame someone with malice. No one is above the law, right? Right? Miss Lopez, this is still trending. It's been over 24 hours. This is just the beginning of Amber being able to speak. #Give Amber Her Voice Back. That might be number 2. We're on a roll, everyone. Skurs. #Give Amber Her Voice Back. The misandrists at it again. Keep defending crazy winos. Brats. M.do. #Give Amber Her Voice Back. How about...
No, you shut up.
Amber already spoke long enough to cause Johnny Depp so much undeserved suffering, and yet even up this day, she is still going hammy with her voice in protest of the court decision that was in favor of him. Nelly, how do you know when Amber Heard is lying? When she opens her mouth. #Give Amber Her Voice Back, and let her lie some more. Leo, no one took her voice away. She just keeps lying, and so everyone will keep telling her to STFU. That's all there is to it. Danny, if you still have, we're back to this person, if you still have doubts that Johnny Depp is an abusive, misogynistic, violent man, see this thread that dives into his past. Lillian went into the detail about this. Now what makes the thread interesting is, the majority of his past relationships all said the same thing. He was not an abuser. What are you talking about? By making these, let's call them assertions, you are denying those that have already spoken up their agency by saying, no, we speak on your behalf. I thought you're supposed to listen to women and believe. You've just decided, yeah, but they're defending a man, that's not, no, that's haram. Since Danny features quite a lot in this trend. This has also been an incentive for Johnny Depp's friends and lackeys to lie for him. I assume his ex-wife is on that list. They too feel complicit in what he did to Amber, by their having allowed him to do it, and so defending him means defending themselves too. #Give Amber Her Voice Back. #Amber Heard. #Support Women's March. A retweet of a supporter. I want everyone who enabled Johnny Depp held accountable too. Amber was drugged, beaten, and yeah. She testified that she would scream out for help but nobody would ever come to help her. His staff stood by, heard her screams, and did nothing. Wasn't that also proven a lie? So onto the article from Jezebel. I know, top shelf stuff. Johnny Depp supporters are no longer even trying to hide that their attacks on his ex-wife are rooted in misogyny rather than concern for male victims. His supporters have risen up in droves to try to cancel the Women's March, after the organisation expressed support for Amber Heard and other DV victims in a lengthy thread about men like Andrew Tate, Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson, and the rampant online misogyny they've perpetuated. The problem you have is, during the trial, he had to prove that he didn't attack her as part of his defence, and that she had lied with some of the claims she made concerning alleged attacks. She admitted to a lot of it being a lie, and he proved he didn't do as much as she said he did. Problem you have is, because you're using that, because many are using that, and because they're pigeonholing him as a domestic abuser with other names like Marilyn Manson and Andrew Tate, both of whom in vastly different situations right now, the Women's March delegitimize their position. The thread shared on Tuesday detailed abuse allegations against Tate, who is a former pro boxer, reality show star, and current viral TikTok influencer, including video footage of him beating a woman. I know nothing of Andrew Tate, so by the way, not going to comment on that. The Women's March also unpacked the onslaught of sexual harassment inspired by Depp's defamation lawsuit, and the actor's close friendship with Marilyn Manson, who's been accused of DV. Accused does not mean he did, but since the Women's March through their own Twitter thread said listen and believe, we already know what they think is true. In the days since, the thread has been bombarded with replies accusing the Women's March of not actually watching the trial, and reiterating that Amber Heard is the abuser, among other predictable nastiness. As of Thursday, their hashtag #ShutDownWomen'sMarch continues to trend, as pro-Depp users accuse the organization of being led by feminazis and supporting false allegations against men. In other words, the response has pretty much been in tune with the messaging Depp's camp has pushed thus far, that they're the real supporters of survivors, that Heard and Depp's relationship was either mutually abusive or that she was the sole abuser, and that real feminists support Depp, her victim. Quotes around that. Well, he was the victim of it, so yes. Many do believe it was tit for tat, yes, and they're always going to be that way because they don't want to get involved, so they'll just agree to that and move on. The executive director of the Women's March said in a statement to Jezebel, "Our tweet thread was about what happens to women when they stand up to abuse and power. The attacks on us for doing so is a live demonstration of what we said. You mean what you got wrong? Your points would have had more merit if you hadn't used Johnny Depp's name, or Marilyn Manson's, since you admit he's accused, not proven, and nor was Johnny Depp. Oh, but the UK court said high probability. That does not mean he did. This article is trash, but I do like to put Jezebel under the spotlight for a moment, just for your pleasure. Do try to resist the urge to pull hairs out though. Just roll your eyes. It's the nicest thing to do and have a nice stiff drink.